Hello folks, Junkie Rock 13 here, Ross Sanders. On the forums, you can find me as Junkie Rock 13. I'm here today, kind of a two-parter. I felt they went together, and here it is. I know a lot of people end up using cartomizers, and a lot of people want to make the step to move on to a tank. Well, I'm here to give you a review on a tank called the Bella tank, made by a woman, emsmom, on the ECF forum. It's now going to be at HoosierVapes.com. It will be selling her item, the Bella tank, and you should check them out. I also have another item from Electronic Stix.com. It is the Tiny Mite Cartomizer Punch. Very interesting, very nice carto punch. Take a look at that. But a lot of people, when they decide they're using cartomizers and it just doesn't last them as long, and they would like to have more liquid in, they don't want to fill up the cartomizer as much, they end up turning to tanks, and tanks is a great source to have extra liquid, and a lot of tanks look nice. The Bella looks nice, very nice looking tank, but I'm going to show you how to punch or slot your carto and use it in a tank. We're going to do a lot of video. This video is going to be a lot of close-up, seeing how to punch the carto, how to slot the carto, and then I'll come back and talk it over and discuss what I think about them. So here it goes. Okay folks, I have a lot to cover, and I'm going to try to go through this as quick as possible and not leave out anything, but if I do, I'm very sorry. So let me get right to it. Alright, so these are low resistance 510 bulb cartomizers. Okay, very common cartomizer, one of my favorite to use. Just going to open these up real quick. I'm going to open up two because I'm going to show you how to use a Dremel to slot your cartomizer, and I'm also, let me just move that a little bit, and I also am going to show you how to use the Tiny Mite from Electronic Stix. Alright, so let's get right to it. Right here, before putting in any juice, I'm going to show you how easy it is to put one, or punch one, excuse me, a cartomizer in the Tiny Mite. Now this is a satin finish aluminum with a carbide punch tip. These fit, the cartomizers that will fit this are the 801 Fusion cartomizers, the 510s, the 808s, the 801 regular ones, and the 901 cartomizers. Okay, so you will be able to use any cartomizer of one of those in this punch, which is very nice. A lot of them just allow 510, so that's very nice. But anyhow, what I'm gonna do is I have a ruler, because I measured it out for the Bella tank specifically to around 12 milliliters, yeah. Okay, now that'll wash it off. So what I'm gonna do is, I've actually had this pre-set up for this, so I'm gonna raise that up just a little bit, And if you can see in there, oh, the lighting isn't good. The line is matching up pretty good with that. Now what I like to do is hold the cartomizer there and turn this. And once you feel tension, I like to turn it fast. I'll tell you why too. Now once you hear the popping, I go like a half turn, and that's basically as far as it goes, but you do not want to overturn at that point. So I will pull back out. Whoop, took it out too far. And there's the hole. I'll just rub off that ink. Okay, so the hole is nice and clean. Very little denting, which is nice because of the sharp tip. I'll take this out and show you the tip. Very nice. I hope you can see that. Very good tip. Now a lot of people, when they're using thinner juices, more PG base juices, they like to put just one punch. I personally like to go 2 punches. So I'm going to put that one there, that hole on that side, and I'm going to do it totally on the other side. But what I'm going to do is, I don't know, I just found this to be better. I like to bring it up. I don't want them, just a personal preference. It probably means absolutely zero, but what I like to do is just make the hole just a little bit higher on the other side. Now I feel the tension. I'm going to turn it really fast. Went through that little half turn, pull it back out, pull out my cartomizer. Now you notice, I don't know if you can see that well, but the one hole is there. The one is just slightly higher than that one. But now you have a fully punched cartomizer. Very easy, very simple. Now, if you don't have a punch and you still want to use cartomizers in a tank, you have a cartomizer with no holes, but you have a Dremel. Now this Dremel I am using cutoff wheel number 420, made by Dremel. I'll show you what they look like by themselves. They're very thin cutting wheels, kind of sandpaper feeling. And I have one installed on my Dremel already. Now I'm going to measure out, if I can pick up my ruler. I'm going to measure out again around 12. Now this is not a perfect science. Okay. Now please, if you do this at home, I would really like that if you please do this with safety glasses. Okay, now I am going to do this right by the table, so don't do this at home. Make sure you're doing it in a vise, and don't squeeze the cartomizer really tight. So here we go. There's the Dremel. Hold it, line it up. Now you can see I haven't cut through, but you want to be very careful when you are doing this. It just barely cut through, but I want to make sure that I go all the way through the metal, but not through the cotton filler. Okay, I'll take another look at that. It's going through the metal, but there's still a little bit left I'd like to clean out. There we have it. Let me shut this off. Okay. There we have a kind of a little odd shaped, but you get the point. You don't want to cut through the cotton. Sometimes I do, even with the thicker VG based juices. I like cutting another little slot on the other side, but this is gonna be very, very useful for any tank. Again, make sure you wipe this down. You don't want no metal shavings in your juice floating around. But that is how you slot a tank. I mean, there's still a little bit in there that could be cleaned up, but that is the idea. Alright, so we're going to put that one aside. I just wanted to show you how that was done. And we're going to use this punched by the Tiny Mite. And we're going to put that into the Bella tank. Now, first things first. Let's go over the Bella tank. Here is the Bella's bottom. Now this color is the purple fleck. It's kind of like a mosaic purple, light violet color. But here's the bottom piece. There is an O-ring in the bottom, right in there. It's flat on the bottom. There's an O-ring on the outside that holds the polycarbonate tank, excuse me, the polycarbonate tank to the bottom piece. So you're going to put that right on there like that, and it fits very nice. I have had no leaking, no sliding. This tank has been a very good tank. This is actually my wife's tank. My wife loves the Bella. This is the only one we have. She purchased this on the last sale. She's very pleased with it. Now here's the top piece. Now this is the unique piece that makes this a Bella and not just regular any old cartomizer tank. This is the mouthpiece and the top piece all in one. Very, very well machined. It's sort of like the Ming style, but a very fat Ming, I guess you would say. Very nice tank. It also has an O-ring out here to hold it with the polycarbonate tube. But if you notice inside, there is no O-ring in there. Now, what also is different about this, there's a very fine little hole in there, an air hole. But what's very different about this tank is that the cartomizer, when installed fully, does not go all the way up to the top. Okay, when I first got it, I was like, whoa, it don't reach. I think this is machined wrong. I read the form and it's not supposed to touch the top. And I was like, well, that's going to cause leaking. I have not encountered any leaking. She does suggest to use the top cap on the cartomizer, leave it on there, which is okay. It doesn't limit anything. The air hole's right in the center, so it's not like you're losing any airflow or anything. So it doesn't affect anything, any performance wise. But it works very well. Lightweight. It's all made out of acrylic, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's made out of acrylic. And the tube is made out of a polycarbonate, I believe. I'm not 100%, but it has the same feel of my other polycarbonate tubes. So right now I am going to use the condom method to fill up my cartomizer because I would like to do this rather quick. I'm using some raw Pango 50/50 18 milligram juice. What I'm going to do is squirt some into this cap, the cartomizer cap. Fill it in there. And I don't even know if I do this method right. This method works for me, and I am sure there's going to be some viewers out there that saying, why are you doing that? That is the stupidest way to do it. I'm sure it's getting down into your air hole, but what I like to do is take my cartomizer, fill that up, I don't know, 3/4 of the way fill, and then the threaded end down, push it in. Then you notice the juice is coming up. What I like to do is just push it right up, as long as it don't go over the top, and set it down. It'll all go into the filler, and when I pull back off the top, or the cartomizer out of the top, it will then leave juice in the cap, which is good. Alright, so while that's filling up, while the filler is soaking up that juice, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about this Bella. Now, these Bellas are not available at any vendor as of right now. They are going to be available at HoosierVapes.com, and it's going to be great for everybody that has been waiting and wanting a Bella tank, but the sales, they don't have the money when the sales go on, or they can't get into the sale on time. Here's a chance at Hoosier Vapes to get one of these tanks. Alright, so I gave that a couple minutes. What I'm going to do is I should have put a little tiny juice on that. I always normally do that. Just take 1 drop, and I like just taking my finger and just rubbing it around and setting that right there. And taking 1 more drop, just a very little. I mean, you don't really need much for this. And what actually happens, what emsmom has said, is that as the juice in the O-rings gets put, when it gets pushed on here, it's very easy to slip and slide. But I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. The O-ring tends to swell and push out the juice and sticks really nice in there, and there's no sliding, no movement. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take out the cartomizer now. It's nice and filled. And I am going to put it directly in here. Now I'm going to put it in this way. The reason why I put it in this way is because I don't want to push it through the with this end, and it might cut the O-ring on the inside. So now I'm going to put this cap back in here. Ooh, pushed it right through. Okay, now the O-ring cap's in there. I like to push it right to there, where it's nice and flat. Hope you can see that. Then, let me wipe up my hands a little bit. I'm going to take the juice, and you could see where the holes are located inside. If you don't know where to put the holes in the cartomizer, you kind of, this is my opinion, you kind of want them towards the bottom, and you want them enough for the juice to flow into the cartomizer. So now I'm just going to take it and fill up this tank. Now you don't want to fill this up all the way, but I like to fill right to about there. Oh God, I'm making a mess tonight. Great. Okay, so the level is probably 3/4 of the way up, maybe 2/3. Now the cap. The cap is sort of you got to understand that when you push down on it right now, it's going to push the juice right out into the hole and into the cartomizer and out the bottom. So what I like to do is, once I get a good seal with the O-ring, I like to flip it so the hole is right there. Now push it on. That usually gives me no leaking out the bottom, and it works pretty well for me. There is no leaking right now, just the juice that I poured on the table right there, but there's no leaking. I'm gonna give it a quick wipe just to make sure. No leaking, and it is pretty much filled. And the best way to refill it is to take off this cap and fill it up the same way, and then put the cap back on the same way. Very simple. So there you have the Bella tank. And the Tiny Mite Carto Punch did the job. Alright, let's see how this vapes and how it works. Okay folks, so there you have the Bella tank from emsmom on the ECF forum, soon to be at HoosierVapes.com, and the Tiny Mite Carto Punch, which I have found to be very useful, very nice and strong construction. Like I said, it's made out of aluminum, kind of has the satin finish with a plastic cap screw. This I'm gonna call this the what are we gonna call this? The position screw, I guess. The position screw. And then the wing nut here is gonna be the punch screw. Okay, so there you have my parts, what I named them. Okay, so it's very nice machined, very nice looking, not heavy, made out of aluminum. Very nice. It's gonna fit almost any cartomizer that you throw at it, so that's very good. If you have a weird position where you want to punch the hole, I'm sure you could turn the cartomizer around and punch it on the top, wherever you want to do. But very nice. Check them out. Electronicstix.com. Nice. Alrighty, let's get to the Bella tank. Now the Bella tank is very well constructed. I have experienced no leaking. There's been a few people on the forums saying, oh, they're leaking, it's not fitting, but I have experienced zero, absolutely no leaking. Now it fits about 2.5 to 3 milliliters with the cartomizer juice. I could be wrong with that, but that's what I think I measured out. Very nice. This is set at 3.9 on my Provari, and that is a low resistant bow cartomizer. I'll show you how it vapes. There's a fan going in here, but you can see the vapor coming out of it. But obviously that's the 50-50 juice and the bow cartomizer. The tank really is just a holder, if you will, for the liquid to push into the cartomizer, which does all the work, which basically sizzles the e-liquid. But here it is on the Provari with the extension, the 18650 extension, the chrome Provari, looking very nice. Like I said before, this is the purple fleck Bella tank. I don't know if this color will be available, but there's a lot of different colors. There's purples, blues, greens, whatever. A lot of different designs. Now, I want to add one thing. When you're using your finger onto the O-ring with nicotine juice, make sure you wash your hands. You don't want to touch your kids' sandwich bread for the sandwich and transfer any nicotine. I usually wear gloves when I'm mixing juice or whatever, but This was just a little, I washed my hands. Anyhow, let's get to the review. Very happy with this tank. I have had no issues with it. We've had it for probably a month now, and it's been very good. It's fallen a couple times and has no break. You can purchase an extra set of O-rings. I'm sure Hoosier Vapes is going to carry that. When she was running the sale, emsmom was running the sale, you could purchase an extra set of O-rings and an extra tube if you want. You got to be aware that this is a polycarbonate, so if you are using your high citrus juices or your cinnamon juices, it might have a tendency to crack. But it's a very nice tank. The one thing that some might look at is you cannot use your own drip tip. It's a drip tip mouthpiece already in one. But this is the reason why I liked it. My wife wanted the purple, and for all the people that are experiencing hand problems, arthritis, or any hand issue, wrist issues, this is a very easy tank to come apart. Now, when you have a regular tank and you have a drip tip on it, you still have to get that cap off. If you just pull on the drip tip's going to come out. But this, when you pull it, it's a nice, grab the mouthpiece, it's a nice form for your hand, and just pull this off, and it's easy filling. That is the main reason why I did purchase for my wife. She has severe carpal tunnel on her hands, and she could not fill a regular tank. This, she can fill. She still doesn't. She still makes me do it, but she can do it. This video is running way too long. I want to thank Electronic Stix because I won this on a Vaping Network show, and this is an awesome piece. I'm very happy that I have this. I'm glad I have a chance, and it's a great piece. And emsmom for making these awesome tanks. They're very nice. I like them. So check them out for yourself. This is Junkie Rock 13. Everybody vape on.